Hey guys, good luck on your test. Hopefully, you took your time, you read your problems, and you're feeling good. Now, we're moving into our next unit, which is solving equations. Now, today we're going to talk about with rationals, which is like fractions and decimals, because I want to make sure you understand the method on how to solve these and not just solving them in your head. So, the most important thing today is even if you know how to do them in your head, you must follow our steps because these steps will lay the foundation for much harder problems coming up in the near future. So, the biggest thing about today is to follow the steps, make sure you're doing each one, and just being very careful. All right, today we're going to talk about one-step addition and subtraction, one-step multiplication and division. We're going to save two steps for another day. All right, open up your first flap. The important thing to understand about an equation is that there's two sides to every single equation. Now, the equal sign divides every equation into two halves, meaning if you look at this problem here, you have the left-hand side and the right-hand side. You guys have been talking about a balance method for a while now, and that's where this comes into play. Now I'm going to put steps to solve down the middle. Steps. Step 1, we call it drop a line. And when we say that, we mean drop a line through the equal sign. So this is like a wall. The only way you can pass through the wall is by using inverse operations. Now this wall, you're going to make every single time. We often say it's a brick wall because you can't get through it. To solve this equation means we're trying to find the value of A. In order to find the value of A, we need to isolate it. So step 2, we box the variable. What I mean by that is we're going to take our A and we're going to put it in a box. This tells us, hey, this is what I want to get by itself. Right now it's not by itself because it's got a plus 2.6 on the same side with it. We need to get rid of that 2.6, which brings us to step 3. 3 is isolate, meaning get by itself, the variable using inverse or opposite operations. Now, these 3 steps will allow you to solve any problem that's in front of you as long as you follow them. So we need to get this A by itself, which means we need to get rid of this 2.6. Right now it's showing you a plus 2.6. Well, what's the inverse operation of plus? Hopefully you know that the inverse operation of plus is minus. And what's the inverse operation of multiply? Well, divide, but we'll get there later. So if I need to undo a plus 2.6, I need to subtract 2.6. Now, this equation has a left side and a right side, and it needs to stay balanced, meaning the same thing. Whatever I do to one side, I need to do the other. So if I minus 2.6 on this side, I need to minus 2.6 on that side. Now what happens on this side is that these two cancel out to be 0, but I don't need to write the 0. I just need to know that they drop out. This is leaving me with my A, which I bring down. So I have A, I brought it over there, equals, then I do this math. Negative 5.8 minus 2.6. If you put that in your calculator, you'll see that you get negative 8.4. Now the beauty of this is that you can check this. So let's go ahead and do our check over here. Slide it in over here. CK, check. Guess what? We're going to rewrite, replace, recalculate. So if we're going to check this equation, we need to rewrite the original, which was A plus 2.6 equals negative 5.8. And I know it's tight here. We're only going to check a couple. Then I'm going to replace A with negative 8.4. So we have negative 8.4 plus 2.6 equals negative 5.8. Now I need to recalculate, but I'm not going to do anything side to side. I'm just going to do this. Negative 8.4 plus 2.6 gives me negative 5.8 equals negative 5.8. See how this one just carries down throughout? Then at the end, you want to say, okay, is this a true statement? Is negative 5.8 equal to negative 5.8? Well, yep, that's true. So that means you did it right. Now let's continue and solve the rest. Let's look at number 2. Number 2, we are going to drop a line through our equal sign because that's step 1. Step 2, box the variable term. Step 3, isolate the variable using opposite operations. So here we have b minus 4.9. Well, what's the opposite of minus 4.9? Because I need to get the b by itself. I need to add 4.9. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Plus 4.9. These guys cancel out, leaving you with just your b equals this in your calculator gives you negative 3.8. Now again, we can check this. We'll rewrite, replace, or calculate over here. So we rewrite the original. B minus 4.9 equals negative 8.7. Oh, I got really squished there. B is negative 3.8. So negative 3.8 minus 4.9. What does that give you? Gives you negative 8.7. And you end up with a true statement. So it works. All right, can you guys pause the video and try 3 and 4 for me? Okay, how'd you do on 3 and 4? All right, perfect. Hopefully you did well. Let's look at 5 and 6. Now 5 and 6 are the exact same skill, but we're dealing with fractions. So let's take a look at number 5. We, step 1, drop our line, brick wall. Step 2, box our variable. Notice I'm taking the plus sign with it so I know it's a positive 1e. And now I say, okay, well, what's on this side with it? Well, it's negative 1/4. I can rewrite it like this. Negative 1/4 plus e equals 3/8. You still box your e and you say to yourself, okay, negative and a subtraction are kind of one and the same. So how can I get rid of a minus 1/4? I can add 1/4 to both sides. This leaves me with e equaling, this drops out, 3/8 plus 1/4 is 5/8. Now this is a tricky skill that we will work on throughout, so please don't get too discouraged if this was a little bit trickier when the e is on the inside. Given that we just did that, can you guys try number 8 for me now and pause the video? Okay, how'd you guys do? Hopefully pretty good. And again, you can check these by rewriting, replacing, recalculating so you know if you get them right. All right, let's look at number 6. Number 6, drop a line, box your variable, and get it by itself. What do we have to do? Well, what's the opposite of minus 5/6? Well, plus 5/6. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Plus 5/6. These cancel out, leaving you with your f equals. This totaled in your calculator should give you 1 and 1/4 or 5/4. Either one is fine. Or even 1.25. Or you could have gotten 1.25. It doesn't matter. All right, pause the video, try number 7. All right, how'd you guys do on that one? Good, I hope. If you did good, we're going to use these same 3 steps to now flip and solve when we have multiplying or dividing. Let's take a look at number 9. We still do our brick wall and we still need to box our variable. Well, how are these two attached? This is saying negative 0.8 times I equals negative 12.8. Well, if we're trying to get our I by itself, we need to undo times negative 0.8. What's the opposite of times negative 0.8? Well, divided And yes, we're going to use that fractional line to show divided by negative 0.8. These two will cancel out, leaving you with I equals, but whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other, negative 0.8. This then, when you put that in your calculator and divide, will give you, believe it or not, 16. Now here, this rewrite, replace, or calculate works the same way. Rewrite negative 0.8I equals negative 12.8. Replace negative 0.8 times I is then 16 equals negative 12.8. Recalculate. When you put that in your calculator, you should get negative 12.8. Bring that down is equal to 12.8. Sorry, negative. Is that a true statement? Yep. So you know you did it right. Can you guys try 10? Pause the video and give it a try. All right, there's number 10. Now let's talk about dividing. Let's look at number 11. Draw our line, box our variable, and now this says k divided by 7.4. How do we undo divided by 7.4? What's the opposite operation? Well, the opposite operation is times. So we're going to do times, and I'm only using parentheses because parentheses next to this implies multiplication, times 7.4. These two cancel each other out, leaving you with k, but whatever I do to one side, I need to do to the other. So you're going to do negative 3.1 times 7.4. When you do that in your calculator, you should get negative 22.94. Again, you can rewrite, replace, or calculate to check. Can you guys pause the video? Well, actually, we'll do 12 together. 12 works the same exact way as 11, except the variable's on this side, and that's okay. We're still going to drop it and box it. So what do we need to get rid of here? Well, what's on the same side as the variable? Divided by negative 9.5. To undo divided by, we're going to do times negative 9.5. Opposite operations, inverse, they cancel out, leaving you with an m. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Negative 9.5. So you're doing negative 9.5 times negative 8.2. When you put that into your calculator, you should get a positive 77.9. Again, you can rewrite, replace, or calculate to ensure you're correct. We're going to save 13, 14, and 15 for another day. Please don't do them. This is a whole different skill. But can you guys pause the video and try number 16 for me? All right, how did you do? All right, put this aside, save it to paste into your notebooks tomorrow, and we're going to practice these skills tomorrow. Come ready with questions, and if you had trouble, please go to Extra Help. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.